Using a 19mm socket, let's go ahead and remove our lug nuts. If your vehicle is equipped with a hubcap like ours, go ahead and grab that hubcap or center cap, pop that off, grab the wheel, pull it off, and set it aside. Now I went ahead and we put our ignition key in the on position. That way there, we can go ahead and manually turn the wheel without it locking. I'm gonna go ahead and remove these bolts on the back side. This is 12mm. We're now going to go ahead and remove our brake caliper. Using your pry tool, go ahead and separate the caliper from the caliper bracket. You want to support that. You don't want to have tension on this flex line here. I'm going to go ahead and pop our brake pads off. Using a 17mm socket in your ratchet, I'm going to go ahead and loosen and remove the caliper bracket bolts. You remove your caliper bracket and set that aside. I want to go ahead and remove our caliper bolts. Separate the caliper from the bracket. Next, we want to go ahead and look at our slide pins here. Do an inspection for grease. There's a minimal amount on here. So we're going to pull both, and we're going to add a little bit more. And then we'll reinsert. I'm going to go ahead and put a light coat of grease right where your slider tabs are going to go. Go ahead and line this up, pop it into place, and repeat for the other side. Install your brake caliper bracket. Get the bolts lined up. I'm going to get those caught a few threads. And I like to screw the bolt in as far as I can by hand. And repeat for the bottom bolt. Let's go ahead and torque down these bolts to 79 foot-pounds. Repeat for the upper. Now I'm going to install our inboard brake pad. Then we'll install our outboard pad. And go ahead and install our caliper. Get our bolt started in here. Once it's started, go ahead and get the bottom one installed. Get it started a few threads, and then we'll snug those down. Go ahead and torque the caliper bolts down to 25 foot-pounds. Now I want to go ahead and remove the flex line brake hose bolt. You should have two copper washers. One goes on the head side, and then we put the hose on, and then the copper washer, the second one goes on the outside of it, and then we screw it into the caliper. And go ahead and cover this, snug that down, and wipe it. Let's go ahead and torque down the hose to 25 foot-pounds. Now we're just going to go ahead and spray and clean any residual brake fluid off of the bracket of the caliper on the hose. Once you're all set with this, I'm going to go ahead and open up the bleeder cap right here. So let's pop off that little rubber boot. Use a pick or a little pry tool to pop that off. Using a 10mm wrench, we're going to open up the bleeder screw. We're going to allow just a couple moments for brake fluid to come through the line, fill up the piston, and start to come up through the bleeder. Now that we have fluid coming out, we're going to go ahead and close this. I'm going to wipe this. Now I want to go ahead and go under the hood and check your brake fluid level. You under the hood, you have your master. You want to go ahead and open this up. Inspect your brake fluid. And you want to make sure that you are filled up. Your brake fluid is at the max line here. If you're low, go ahead and add it. Now we're going to go ahead and close this up. We're going to go into the vehicle, pump up the brakes, make sure the brake pedal feels good. Then we're going to come back out, we're going to repeat. Open this up, check our brake fluid level. If we need fluid at that point there, we'll go ahead and top it off, close up the lid, and then we'll put the wheel back on the car and road test. Now once we're all set, go ahead and put on your little rubber bleeder cap. We'll install our wheel. Go ahead and install the wheel. Now if your vehicle is equipped with the hubcap that locks on with the lug nuts, you want to go ahead and locate the notch in the hubcap for your valve stem. Line that up. And we'll get those lug nuts started. I'm going to go ahead and snug down the lug nuts. Let's go ahead and torque our wheel down to 80 foot-pounds.